Hi everybody, today we are testing the APKWS mod for a DCS AH-64D Apache helicopter. Normally this variant of Apache wasn't meant to carry APKWS rockets or missiles because ED is not really wanting to give us APKWS. I made a experimental modification to check if this is gonna be working at all. So actually APKWS may technically be retrofitted to any airframe that is able to carry like a Hydra rockets. So obviously this variant of Apache has no proper setting for a fire control system to fire those rockets. So we will be needing to basically lie to the fire control system that we have some kind of rockets put into the pods. So as you can see now we have some Hellfires on the wingtip pylons, and here we have the APKWS like rockets or missiles, and we have in a zone Charlie multi-purpose penetrators, and in the rest of the zones we're gonna have the high explosive variants of those rockets. So we can carry two types of those rockets in pretty much a single pod using the famous zone features of the Apache. So we will begin with something really crazy. We are gonna be basically trying to destroy enemy surface-to-air missiles with the APKWS. So I'm taking a flight.
2 7 o'clock.
I am a bit crappy pilot, as you can see. So we will be taking some distance, and the key is to basically get some distance to the enemy SAMs that we will gonna be out of the range. We are now within the range of the Tunguska and this like Chinese thing. Still no missile warning, which is good. The key thing is that we need some range to be there safely.
2 7 o'clock. Tracking.
Oh, it's tracking me, so that's bad. And now it's time to gain some altitude. And later I will show you how to set up these rockets. It's a bit laggy today because I'm recording. Normally it's fairly smooth. Okay, I will switch to the pilot's place and tell the George to basically increase our altitude to something like 3,000 feet. This is gonna be a right altitude to basically launch those APKWSs at the very distant targets.
Speed set.
The key is to outrange the SAMs, and this is gonna be like this crazy testing when we will check how far they will go. I have actually made it before, so I know it's possible.
Right and left.
So, as we're increasing our altitude, I will set up the rockets page. So let's go to the, maybe I'm gonna shoot off the helmet mounted side, and let's select the rockets. So I'm gonna watch the rockets, and now it's gonna tell you type select. So we have to select the type. Here on the left we got two types. As illumination, I think those are gonna be like high explosive, and those are gonna be multi-purpose penetrators, but I'm not really remembering this. So let's check which one is which. I have actually forgotten which one is which. So we are at the altitude, aligning for the SAMs. I'm gonna make a cursor acquisition and acquire one of those SAMs with the cursor acquisition. So there is gonna be the 2S6. maybe I'm gonna unwasp for a moment and let's slave it to the enemy SAM. And we are like 9.6 kilometers away from them. And as you can see, they are active, so those are not just some placeholder things. They are actually active SAMs in the DCS.
At requested speed.
And we're gonna be wasping the rockets now, and the important thing is that we're gonna switch it to ground stow. So here you can see that we got rockets ground stow right there on the bottom. And this means that the pylons won't articulate, because we don't want them to articulate. We tell the George,
Roger, aligning.
the pilot for today, to like align, pressing the arm button to arm it. And here is the Tunguska. It's actually aiming at us, but it's out of range. The exact range is 9.4 kilometers. And so, how to fire the APKWS at such a long range? Well, you have to tell the George to, in a hover bob-up mode, to go back, because that way we're gonna have some extra super elevation. And so, telling him to slide back, he's putting the nose up, and now we're firing the APKWS. And we are gonna wait about 10 seconds before we enable the laser. Lasing now. And we will take a look at the rocket. It's the multi-purpose penetrator variant. And now it starts its shallow glide. Like it's aligning itself with the laser beam. And we'll be seeing if it's gonna make it. And that's a hit. So you can see that was basically a direct hit on an enemy SAM system with APKWS from 9.4 kilometer. And now let's fire the high explosive, because I have noted that high explosive ones actually have some better results against light armored vehicles. So I have selected this one. And now we are selecting the high explosive variant of the Hydra. We don't really have to align on this target because we're almost aligned. There is only slight misalignment. Put this up, fire the rocket, and wait about 10 seconds before lasing. The rocket flies the ballistic path now. And I'm now lasing, so the rocket should basically align itself on the laser. Have to correct a bit. And that's a hit on a Tunguska. It should be destroyed by now. So let's try some different SAM system. Let's take this Chinese one. That's a launcher. We're gonna align on target.
Roger, aligning.
Check the distance. It is also 9.4 kilometer. So we will need that super elevation.
Moving back.
Tell it to move back. Fire the rocket.
Stop it.
And let's wait about 10 seconds with lasing. You do this only for these extremely long range shots. It isn't really done when shooting from a short distance. So this is only for this long range shooting. You can see the range is almost 9.5 kilometers. And I'm lasing. And let's see if it's gonna make it. And that's a direct hit. You can see we have destroyed that launcher. So now we have destroyed those SAMs. It's time to check the APKWS against armor. And now we're flying at a lower altitude to show you
Roger. Decreasing altitude.
what I would call a more normal example of APKWS shooting. So here we have two BMP-1s and we will be trying to shoot them. So wasing the APKWS, telling the George to
Roger. Aligning.
set it up. It's slightly over 4 kilometers, so it should not be a problem. We're gonna try with the high explosive one first, and now we're gonna lace immediately after or even before launching, because that's a short range fire. So I have laced before launching. The rocket is making its way, and as you can see, that's a direct hit, and the target is smoking. It's not yet destroyed, but it's smoking. And now we're gonna check with the multi-purpose penetrator APKWS what kind of damage it's gonna do. So selecting multi-purpose penetrator, lasing and firing. And so here goes the APKWS, the MPP variant. It won't hit the trees, and that's a direct hit on a target. As you can see, it's making a little bit of smoke, but it seems like there is less smoke than with this one, so I would say that it made less damage, which is what I have noted, that MPP variant is less effective against light armor. So now let's shoot the second MPP at this target and see if it's gonna work, except that now we are shooting with delayed lace. So fire and lace now, and let's see what is gonna be the trajectory of the rocket. It locked it a little more, and that's a hit, and target is indeed destroyed. So we will need to destroy this target as well, lasing prior to firing and firing. Now we can fly and proceed to destroy more targets. And that's a direct hit, target destroyed. I'm gonna unwasp for a while.
Speed set.
And here we're gonna have the next target. Give me the cursor position. It's like behind this smoke, so I have to
Coming right.
come right to get a clear view on it. I'm
Copy.
gonna stop there,
Rolling out.
and this is the BTR-RD. So let's see if the single
Roger. Aligning.
high explosive APKWS will do the job. So switching to high explosive, George is aligning itself on the
Roger.
target.
Speed set.
I'm gonna actually drop the, or actually deslave the TADS. 4.8 kilometer firing and lasing. That shouldn't be a problem for the APKWS in a DCS to go less than 5 kilometers from this range. You can see it's passing the BMPs, entering a shallow trajectory, and that's a hit. And target is actually destroyed with a single hit. No need for a hellfire with this one. So let's go and
Speeding up.
enable ourselves to destroy another target, and this is gonna be the BMP-2. So we have a single BMP-2.
Searching.
You can barely see it on the thermal vision, and it is from the back,
At requested speed.
so we will be attacking again with the high explosive APKWS.
Roger. Aligning.
Let's stop ourselves
Copy.
here
Rolling down.
Range is 5.7 kilometers. So I wonder if we will be able to make it. Firing the rocket and lasing with slight delay. The rocket is going
On speed.
its sort of ballistic trajectory, and now it's aligning on the laser. You can see there is no problem with it getting to the target and hitting it. And so the target is damaged. And let's finish it with the multi-purpose penetrator. But now we are gonna lace prior to firing. Laced prior to firing. The rocket is going. And it won't make it. So in this case you have to either tell the George to basically slide back, or lace with some delay to allow the rocket going more ballistic path, and later on enable itself to guide on the laser beam. It's not a semi-active laser seeker like a Hellfire. It has the seeker on the fins actually, and that's a hit. Target was hit. And now we're looking for a BMP3. So here is the BMP3. It's like it's farther, 7.5 kilometers. So what I'm gonna do
Roger. Align.
is I'm gonna get slightly closer.
Speeding up.
Oh, I have this on CMOS, but never mind. We don't need CMOS for this one. Or at least we don't need flares. Because the missile warning is gonna be more than enough. And we will try to nail it from about 7 kilometers distance
On speed.
without climbing to some crazy altitude. So selecting the high explosive variant of the APKWS, checking the distance is right on 7
Copy.
kilometers.
Slowing down.
So we're gonna let the George do its job, align itself on the target,
Roger.
but
Align.
now we won't be getting any extra super elevation. So it's like almost 7 kilometers. We're just gonna fire and
Speed set.
basically lace with delay. So lacing right now, and we will see if the APKWS is gonna make it without climbing to some crazy altitude like 3000 feet. So here we go. Looks like the missile is gonna make it. So that's a direct hit. But as you can see, this missile haven't made much damage to the BMP3. So we're gonna fire some. Now we're gonna switch to multi-purpose penetrator, which is even weaker. But we're gonna fire like 4 of them in a salvo. So I have switched the quantity for multi-purpose penetrator selected. And let's fire. Hold the weapon release. It fired like 4 rockets. Wanna refine my track and lace. So you can see the APKWS is flying close to each other. I wonder if they will make it. Oh, they actually, 2 of them haven't made it. So I think that the rest won't. Actually, all of them haven't made it. So we're gonna go like hover BOVAC
Moving
mode.
back.
Get that extra super elevation, fire for APKWSs again, define the tracking, and lace the target. Why is not lasing? Oh, because it's like lagged. I have some lags today because I'm recording. So this is pretty. I'm not sure if this is visible on the video, but definitely on my screen it's like freezing every once in a while. It seems like those multi-purpose penetrators are unable to fly that far. So we're gonna fire 4 rockets. We're gonna lace with delay. So lacing right now. And we will see if the APKWS is gonna make it without climbing to some crazy altitude. So this is pretty. I'm not sure if this is visible on the video, but definitely on my screen it's like freezing every once in a while. It seems like those multi-purpose penetrators are unable to fly that far. they cannot fly as far as the high explosive variants. And if we select high explosive variants, we get this hover bob-up mode.
Moving back.
Fire 4 of them,
Roger. Stop it.
wait some time, and then enable the laser. You can see the rockets going its way, and they should make it. It's maybe the warhead being slightly different, and does some hits on the target. But as you can see, the target isn't yet destroyed. So we will try to launch all of the, really all of the MPP APKWSs, and see if at least one is gonna make it. So we fired like all of them. It says type select because we don't have those rockets anymore of that type. We're gonna lace, and that's a late lace, really late lace, and let's see if the later lace is gonna help it, because APKWSs are gonna make it to the target. I can actually hear them exploding, and not a single one. Oh, actually I think like a single one have hit it, but as you can see, the APKWSs don't have that much of a range. And now we will fire high explosive ones in a 4-shot salvo, but we will try without hover and bob-up slide back. So that's another test. We just fire them straight ahead, wait some time before lacing, and we will lace with a delay. So let's lace now, and as you can see, none of them have made it. So the proper strategy for firing APKWSs at the range seems to be simply firing the high explosive variant with some altitude, and with this, you know, hover bob-up slide back, which gives it some super elevation. And that's it today. That's it for today.
Roger. Stop it.